Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop. Get real.
Welcome to DBL. We are so grateful you're joining us. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling the heat right now, and it's not just Jeff's mustache. No, it's not. Cities all across the country are actually setting records for the hottest temperatures ever recorded, with millions of Americans still under heat alerts today. We want to show you this video. It's really hard to see. It's a UPS driver.
Wow.
He collapses on the front porch. He's okay. I watched this a million times because I got worried after delivering a package in the heat. This is Scottsdale, Arizona. If you've ever been, it's like you're in the oven. It's so hot. So what are we doing about it? Well, today, the president's going to lay out some executive actions on climate change and may even call for a national climate emergency. Now, speaking of feeling that heat, a number of celebrities, including Steven Spielberg, Mark Wahlberg, Kim K, Kylie, and more, are now being called eco-hypocrites. These guys all speak out a lot on climate change, but then they use their private jets for very quick trips, easily traveled by car. Just check this out. According to a Twitter feed that tracks celebrity flights, even Steven Spielberg's plane traveled just 17 minutes for a trip in the Netherlands. Mark Wahlberg took a 9-minute flight across California on his jet. Kim jetted around LA for a 10-minute trip on her $150 million private plane. And of course, the big news here is that Kylie Jenner is being called out for her 12-minute trip on her PJ, which is private jet. So we all know, because that's weird. What do we think of these celebrities using eco-consciousness and then using private planes for these short trips and spewing tons of CO2? Are they being hypocrites? Again, this all spawned, I think, from the Kylie Jenner tweet where she had 2 private planes on the tarmac, and she says, which plane, mine or yours? And it was with Travis Scott, and they had 2 private planes. It was a bit tone deaf, and it didn't read well, and now we're here. Erica, what do you take on all this?
Of course they're eco-hypocrites, but we all are. Like, we literally all are. It's just a matter of we're eco-hypocrites by our own means. This is not a new conversation for us. We've had this conversation since 5 years ago, season 1, because my issue has always been that everyone always wants to point fingers about who's to blame for the CO2 emissions, who's to blame for having the largest carbon footprint. We all are. And if we're going to have this conversation, then check yourselves. It's all about convenience. Yes, they have they're able to have the convenience of private jets, but think about when you don't want to get toothpaste and you order one thing from Amazon as opposed to commingling your entire order, and that forces multiple packages to come to your home, all in the name of convenience. When you want something done, you want to jump in your car and you want to drive across wherever you want. All the things you want to do comes from energy. It comes from it gives CO2 emissions. It's killing the environment, but we don't think about it that way because, oh, it's just a tube of toothpaste. Oh, it's just this. But those things add up. It's hypocrisy.
It's eco-hypocrisy
in your own financial lane.
All right, but let me ask you a question. Emissions per distance traveled in private jets, they're known to be worse than any form of transport. Private planes are 50 more times polluting than taking a train. I mean, this is an enormous amount other than just driving to get something. Does that make sense?
Oh, no, it makes total sense. Tori, I'm very understanding of this situation. I'm also understanding of how we celebrate celebrities for talking about eco-conscious things while they arrive in their private jet to talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't point fingers.
So are we to blame?
It's us.
So
it's all of us. Yes.
Okay, Jeff, do you agree? Are we to blame?
When we talk about climate change, I think a lot of people get all bent out of shape, right? It goes back to politics. We're all to blame, right? It's not just taking a private jet. It's the water bottles that you use. It's Amazon that you order. We're all to blame with all of our trash that we use. If you don't recycle it, that all is climate change, right? If you don't think all of our garbage and emissions on everyone's part is affecting the planet, you're crazy, because it is, right? The heat and stuff, that's a whole nother subject. But to keep this like personal, right? How much awareness do I bring to climate change? And how much do I contribute to the problem? I probably contribute more than I bring awareness to be honest with you. How much do these big celebrities contribute to climate change?
With money,
I think a lot. I think a lot. Money, awareness, all that they're doing. So yes, they're taking their private planes and causing this much emissions, I'm saying, but they're also bringing this much awareness. So in the end,
you're saying.
In the end, they're bringing more light and money and awareness to climate change. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
So I know they're using a lot more, but they're also using their influence and power to fix the problem, even though they're part of the problem. Does that make sense?
Because the currency isn't always money. It's also spreading awareness, bringing light to it. I will say though, like Leo DiCaprio, someone who like loves the ocean and is single-handedly trying to save it, he'll take a commercial flight because if he's going to walk the walk, he's going to talk the talk, or vice versa, which I said in reverse. For me, I recycle everything. I put aluminums, I wash it out, I take the cardboard, I flatten it, I do all of this, I save my water until after 6, and then I look at Kylie, and she's got these 2 private jets, and I'm thinking, and these 9-minute flights, I'm thinking, what am I'm nothing, and I'm still a cog trying to do my bit. And if it's all of us, why can't they participate?
No, I understand what you're saying, but wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio under fire for having like a luxury yacht in the middle?
Or does he just like, there's always these questionable
So, I mean,
things.
that's the thing. It's like, if we're going to have the conversation about climate change and about being responsible citizens of the earth,
right,
maybe we have those conversations starting with what actually are our individual parts. Because until we clean up our own front yard, I feel it kind of weird to try to like jump over it, take a car to the local private airline or private tarmac or whatever and criticize all the people who are really doing it because it's a convenience in their life. We need to check our own conveniences and then we can check everybody else.
That's fair. That's fair. I just think at some point a little tone deaf. I didn't love the tweet. I thought it was a little tone deaf. And maybe take a train, take a bus. I'm sure Kris Jenner will be fine on a bus. Coming up on DBL, menopause doesn't have to be a taboo topic. Women's health expert Sally Miller is here to answer the questions you actually may be afraid to ask. And a man's desperate attempt for an autograph caught on camera. Yeah, we'll show you the embarrassing moment that's going viral. And a pop star is getting slammed for his national anthem performance. Do you think he deserves the backlash?
Closed captioning provided by
It's so
DBL is all new every day.
But apparently he's a pop star. And I was like, wow, that was bad.
What was What was your favorite national anthem or least favorite? I think by far Whitney Houston, You Don't Top that. Yeah. It was just, I listened to it over and over and over again. I should save it, but really, I'll listen to it in the shower. I'll try and sing it. I know all the notes. Do y'all have a favorite?
No, we're going to talk about this, and you know how I hate to step on it.
In the shower?
I do. I used to sing it, and one time I sang it when I was
So
studying
we're going to be
abroad.
talking about this in the next segment.
So we won't talk about it now.
You know how I hate to step on things.
She's not stepping on it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Before you interview someone, we're going to take it a totally different way. Like when I have someone say, like we're going live in like 2 minutes, right? I like to meet them and say, hey, how are you doing? But I don't like to talk to them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be rude, but I want everything caught on camera like fresh.
That's a radio thing.
Do you do that too?
Is that because you don't want to get to know?
Because it sucks the second time around.
Right, because
it comes out better the first time.
Very first introduction, like, hey, what's up? You know what? I think I met you 2 years ago. If you say that before and then try to redo it again, it's not the same energy. Do you see what I'm saying?
It's a very radio thing, because most of your live interviews and stuff like that historically were on radio. So like a guest would come in, because I did morning radio for a long time. A guest would come in as we were turning on the mic. So it was never like,
this is
we'll sit and talk to them in the green room. It was everything was on air.
That's fine.
Because you get so many, especially the excitement or the enthusiasm or the lack of enthusiasm, all that's captured, like, you know.
Totally. I don't know what brought me there, but I used to, like, when I did my interviews at CBS, I would like hide because I didn't want to be rude.
Oh yeah.
But then getting, oh man, we got to go right now, and then like it'd be better. You know?
Is it like, do I call for each one individually?
Welcome back. Summer means Baseball. And for the 9th year in a row, the American League won Major League Baseball's All-Star game last night. There are a few videos going viral from the All-Star weekend. Check out this. Adult man fan trying to get his baseball signed while battling it out with the kids at Dodger Stadium. He's desperately reaching over them. And a lot of people were commenting that he shouldn't get pushy like that, while others are saying he should go first since he's been a fan a lot longer. Appropriate, inappropriate?
Did you see him? He gave like the old, like you're 4 years old. You're like, get out of here.
He boxed him out.
I'm always very skeptical of man fans.
Right.
Because what happens is a lot of these guys will then go on and sell that memorabilia autographed, and it's like a whole black market.
Yep.
So I'm always like, do they really want that ball signed for themselves,
Right.
or are they trying to turn a profit?
My very first thought is the exact same thing, is that man wants to put that ball on eBay. That man wants to sell that somehow. And the way that he pushes that kid around. What would that happen if that was done to Lawson or Leighton?
I would not like that.
No.
I would not like that man fan. Yeah.
No, not at all,
No,
I
man
understand.
fan.
No man
You might
fan.
get a little jersey poll, perhaps.
Okay.
Oh, perhaps.
Rude.
No, but yeah, I agree. I didn't even think about that until you said that. I'm like, maybe. But his outfit makes me think like he's really a man fan.
I don't
think he's selling that ball.
No,
Could be part of the
I
outfit.
really don't know. The only reason why I thought of that is because, I have some friends who are professional athletes and they will not sign
Certain people.
Right, because they know what they're trying to do.
Right.
Exactly.
But do they get all dressed up like that? I mean, that's playing the part.
surprised. You would be surprised, Jeff.
I guess you're
Yes.
right. Every day I'm surprised by
Yes.
humans.
I mean, I think that you can be committed and be playing that part really
Right.
well. I agree.
With the elbow.
Get out of here.
Oh my God, it made me laugh.
Next up, is this the worst rendition ever of the national anthem? Pop singer Conan Gray is getting roasted online for his performance. He sang at Monday's Home Run Derby. Let's not judge. Let's take a listen.
let's judge.
And let's take a listen first and see if it's really that bad.
And the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Can I just say, that rendition pretty much sums up us as a country right now? Yeah, that was that was the most positive thing I'm going to say about that.
I always love the play. It's kind of like when the bride's walking down and everybody looks at the groom. When anyone's singing the national anthem, I'm always looking at the players because there is so much going
Sad
on.
in there.
Remember Draymond Green?
Yeah.
When Fergie sang the national
I think we
anthem?
have Fergie.
I have real tears.
Take a look at
can't.
this. Take a look at
can't.
this. This is Fergie, if y'all remember. Take a look.
That our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star spangled banner yet wave?
That was horrendous.
I cried that night. I cried like just
What's so weird to me is like Frances Scott Key wrote that as the banners were blowing and the flag was still there, and she's like, I'm all dressed up about it.
But you should do like a mock version or whatever of that, because that's kind of you. It
was.
reminded me of you
It did.
trying to go for a laugh,
And
but she was being serious.
She was. Now let's go for someone else trying to go for a laugh, which I always thought this was the famous Roseanne Barr. Take a look at this. I always thought she was trying, in the very beginning, if you listen, she kind of tries and then realizes it's going bad, and I think she just was like, I'm just making it a whole thing.
She's a comedian. She
Yeah.
was going for a laugh in
Yeah.
that moment. But
Yeah.
like Fergie was trying.
Yeah.
That dude Conan, he was trying. I'm not even joking. Me and my dad were watching that live, and I was just like, put it on because the game was going on, and I was like, who is that? And my dad's like, I don't know. My dad, who's 75, is like, I think he's a pop star, they said. I go, there's no way that guy's a pop star. He's terrible. Sorry, Conan, that was a bomb, buddy. You're on the list.
Yeah, that was a beat it, don't you think? Beat it!
Oh, yeah.
Coming up on DBL, our mission is simple: to make menopause easier, and we're happy to have her. We're joined by a women's health expert who has built an incredible community that I know you at DBL want to join. Stay with us, learn.
Your personal
In December 2021, Omicron became the nation's most prevalent variant of COVID-19. Since then, it's modified itself slightly. These are called subvariants and are referred to as BA and a number because they're not substantially different enough to be considered a new variant. In May, researchers detected one of those subvariants, BA 2.75, and it has since been detected in at least 14 different countries, including the US. In July, multiple news outlets began calling it Centaurus to distinguish it from other subvariants of Omicron, but science writer Ed Young claimed in a tweet liked more than 12,000 times that the Centaurus moniker was created by a guy on Twitter. So let's verify. Is COVID-19 subvariant BA 2.75 officially named Centaurus? Our sources are the World Health Organization and Javier Ostale's Twitter account. Verify traced the first usage of Centaurus to reference the BA 2.75 variant to this July 1st tweet from Ostale. Ostale does not identify himself as a health official or expert in virology. Days later, headlines began popping up using Centaurus, but the WHO, which is responsible for naming variants, tells Verify it did not give BA 2.75 the Centaurus nickname. In fact, subvariants are never given official names. The International Health Agency only uses the Greek alphabet to identify variants like Alpha, Delta, and Omicron, not subvariants. So, no, COVID-19 subvariant BA 2.75 is not officially named Centaurus. The moniker appears to have originated on Twitter. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Menopause affects every woman, yet it's one of the most taboo topics out there, and we are going to change that because we sat down with Sally Miller to talk about how her own menopause journey sparked a career in women's health. Check it out. Welcome to DBL, Sally.
Yes.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Thank you for being here. Now, Sally, I'm 41 years old, so I'm wondering, how did you know you were in menopause?
Well, I was in my late 40s and I knew I was in menopause, but the doctors that I was seeing where I lived were just really uninformed about menopause and really chalked up my symptoms to stress. And these symptoms were everything from, low libido, sleepless nights, night sweats, brain fog, changing skin. And I really wanted to get to the bottom of it. So I sought out a female doctor at the Mayo Clinic, and that doctor was really knowledgeable about menopause and reassured me that what I was experiencing was directly related to menopause. And I really, at that point, didn't feel like I was alone. It was really reassuring. But what she recommended was that I try some products that were available over the market, over the counter, I should say. And that's when I had my aha moment. The products were, made by men, no offense, men, but women should really be making these products, in my opinion. And products were not necessarily formulated with clean ingredients. And I thought, we need to change this.
Thank you for that, because there is so much taboo surrounding menopause. Why don't we, in your opinion, why don't we talk about it? And what do you think will change this?
Yeah, well, this is not your grandmother's menopause anymore. There are 50 million women in the US alone going through menopause, and women finally do want to talk about it. And menopause is not equal old age. These are women like J-Lo. Think about it. J-Lo's in her 50s. She's probably in menopause. And, the Golden Girls obviously kind of have that stigma associated with menopause. But if you looked at the Golden Girls today with updated styling, they wouldn't look old.
Right. Yeah,
so
they're like 50.
That's the piece that just, women do want to talk about it. And actually men want us to talk about it as well.
So You made it your mission to change the conversation, and I'm so happy you did with Womaness. Tell us, how did you change the conversation?
Yeah, Womaness is all about, taking those products, developing a whole line of clean formulations that really address the major symptoms of menopause, from changing skin to low libido, hot flashes, night sweats, sleepless issues. So we created about 16 products. They're all under $40, so they're very accessible. And we wrapped those products with education because, much like myself, women need to be informed and they didn't know where to go for answers. And so it's super important that we provide free education and inspiration too. Women this age should be celebrated. We are giving society back with so many rich things, given our wisdom and in our experience. And we have a lot of buying power. And so we created a group called the After Party. It's a closed Facebook group so that women can connect with experts and other women to be really celebrated and inspired.
So at 40, 41, 41, and 40, when should we, can we join that group? When is it going to start for us? I'm just wondering, crystal ball. She's listing symptoms that I have.
The average age of menopause is 51, but the first phase you go through is called perimenopause, and that usually happens in your 40s, and it can last 4 to 7 years.
Okay.
And it's all about being prepared for this. It will be a lot more, as we say, menopositive, if you are educated about it before you go into it. So I would start now, becoming more informed, lining up your right doctor, and you'll be fine.
I love it. Menopositive.
I
love that.
Once you drop the pun, Tori, you signed up.
Menopositivity.
We need to do that.
Oh, of course. And the word itself is so charged. Right. Menopause.
Flip the script.
Agreed.
Thank you so much, Sally. We appreciate you. DBL Nation, Womaness is available at Ulta, Target, and at womaness.com. And make sure you check out their private group. I'm going to the After Party on Facebook. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
So Joanne asked me to verify people on Facebook telling you to send money and receive more. She saw her friend sharing a post that reads in part, Cash App is presently giving out money to help people by this period of pandemic. To benefit, you have to trade with them using gift card or make Cash App transfer for trading and get your winnings immediately after verification, end quote. And then explains if you get $100 worth of gift cards, you'll get $1,500 in return and so forth. Okay, well, right away we notice the missing words and the other grammatical errors, some of which I've circled here. This post immediately gives off red flags, which is why Joanne brought it to my attention. So let's verify. Our sources for this are Cash App, the Federal Trade Commission, and Lachelle Yates with the Better Business Bureau of Central and Northwest North Carolina. They affirm that so-called Cash App promotion is fake.
This social media post invokes 2 golden rules. First, if you are being asked to pay money up front for any reason in order to collect your money, the person asking is a crook. And second, gift cards are not currency. Gift cards are meant to be given as gifts, period.
Plus, why would Cash App want your gift cards? The Federal Trade Commission says very clearly no real business or government agency will ever insist you pay them with a gift card. And the Real Cash App has a whole scam warning page on its website. It mentions cash flipping schemes when scammers promise to increase your money if you send them funds first. The scammers sometimes claim, as they did in this case, they need the payment up front for a verification or clearance fee. So bottom line, pausing to think and question can save you a huge headache.
First, realize that Cash App is not like a bank account. Your money is not federally insured. Second, use these apps like they were intended. Peer-to-peer, sending money to people that you know. And third, if you end up sending money to a scammer, you're not likely to get your money back. These money sending apps, they're not going to shoulder the cost of fraud like credit card companies do.
In conclusion, we verify no, the post claiming Cash App will pay you 10 times the money on a gift card is fake.
It is getting even more expensive to borrow money for that dream house you've been eyeing. Let's connect the dots. This time a year ago, a 30-year mortgage rate was around 3.1%. This week, it sits over 5.7%. To fight inflation, the Federal Reserve raised rates 0.75 of a percentage point last month. That means having debt is becoming more expensive. Bankrate.com predicts mortgage rates to keep rising. The amount you pay will depend largely on the type of loan you choose. For example, FHA loans have a minimum down payment requirement of 3.5% of the home's value. A conventional loan, on the other hand, typically requires payment of 5 to 20%. If you can swing it, making a solid down payment can pay off in the long run. Your monthly payments will likely be lower, and your interest rates you pay will be smaller. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back. We talked about the heat wave earlier, so before we go, we did want to make sure you're staying cool and protected. These cooling tips are sponsored by Sunsetter. First, there is a rumor going around that you need to let your AC sit in the shade to give it a break. That is actually not true. Air conditioners are designed to sit in the sun and won't recirculate cool air if they're shaded, so that's actually backwards. Next, make sure you avoid strenuous activities when it's the hottest outside. Learn the symptoms of heat exhaustion like heavy sweating, elevated heart rate, nausea, headaches, dizziness, and fatigue. Make sure you at least have one air-conditioned space in your home, and most importantly, stock up on water and stay hydrated. Call 1-800-513-6851 or visit sunsetter.com for guaranteed prices on American-made awnings built to last. Speaking about things that are hot, before we go, Mr. Brad Pitt made a bold fashion statement. Did y'all see this on the red carpet? He wore a skirt to the premiere of his new movie, Bullet Train, in Berlin. When asked why he wore it, he simply said, "The breeze, the breeze." The new look also showed off Brad's leg tats.
Okay, I'm here for the shoes. I'm not loving the skirt simply because it should come up either 6 inches above the knee, or you need to go all the way down to like 3 inches above the boot. I'm not loving. It's like a
Yep.
And then also the shirt.
Right.
I'm questioning the choice because the loose. I mean, the skirt. He has great legs.
Right,
like, do you, boo? But we gotta tweak that a little bit.
Yeah,
we
it's a
gotta
little
style
Mad
it.
Maxy.
Maybe we belt it to show that waistline.
Oh, I
love a good belt.
I do too. What do you think? Would you rock that?
It's not good if Brad Pitt can't pull off a look. Right? It's not good for man skirts. I think there's room for them.
There is.
But if Brad Pitt can't do it, it's trouble for the rest of us.
Maybe not the right skirt.
It was the way it was styled.
It was the way it was styled. I agree. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Thanks for being here, y'all.